Now, you got a ticket or you got a not a ticket?
Yes, sir.
Great. Let's see it.
Welcome back to the Civil Rights Lawyer, where we break down important cases and stories that impact your rights and freedoms. Yesterday, that was a wild one. A rookie cop stops this really aggressive guy for speeding right in what appears to be his driveway. It quickly turns into a chaotic scene that raised some serious questions, such as, was that a false arrest? Because the traffic stop ended, then they followed the guy into the house and then arrested him. After the video went up, I got a lot of additional information from you guys, which is great. And this answers at least one of those questions. Was there a warrant? One of you also found the body cam footage from the other officer that we had not seen yet, and this fills in a couple of gaps that we didn't know.
No, I don't need an email that says I don't answer questions without an attorney present to law enforcement. So you got anything that's relevant, or are you just coming over here to make small talk and casual conversation?
That?
Okay, well, don't. Get off my property.
You okay, man?
With what?
You look a little bit in pain. You good?
No, I'm always in pain.
What's going on?
I'm
Any
in
EMS?
fucking pain. What do you mean? What's going on?
Oh, you said that you were in pain just then.
I just said I was in pain. I'm always in pain. What do you want?
That is Trenton Futrell, and this is his mugshot that was taken after he was arrested following this traffic stop. Again, he was pulled over that day for speeding, allegedly 10 over. The stop itself ends up taking place in the driveway, or at least what he's saying is his driveway. And this is the conversation we did not see in the other video with the backup officer who arrives. He begins to speak to Mr. Futrell, who is pretty much the mouth of the South.
I'm curious what the pain is. Maybe I can get EMS over here.
No, I don't need an email that says I don't answer questions without an attorney present to law enforcement. So you got anything that's relevant, or are you just coming over here to make small talk and casual conversation?
That?
Okay, well, don't. Get off my property.
You don't like the police too
I didn't
much?
ask you, boy. Did I ask you a question, or did I tell you something, boy? Off the property. You're not welcome here. That means past the easement. Right out there. That way.
Go on
that
over
way,
there.
boy. That
Come
way,
on
boy.
over there.
Hey, what are you touching me for?
Go over there.
I didn't hey, no, you.
You're not
You what I said, boy. Did you not hear me the first time I talked to you? You deaf? You got no reason to put your hands on me at all. I have not approached you. You walked to me, motherfucker. So if you don't like it, that's your goddamn problem. I hope that body cam's on, son, because it might or might not save your ass with your qualified immunity, any of that. Now, you got a ticket or you got a not a ticket?
Yes, sir.
Great. Let's see it.
All right, give me 1 second. You all right? Yeah, I'm good.
He's fine. What's he gonna do? Jump up and get mad?
The only one getting mad here is you.
Buddy, you're on my property. I told you get the off of it. So what the do you think I should be? Huh? Which one do you think I ought to be? Back me up, mother. Back me up. Back me up, boy. For what? For what? For what? Aggressive, mother. You're on my property. I told you to leave. I'll be as aggressive as I goddamn well please, son. You're on my property, not yours. If this is your property, guess what? You kick me right the off too. So what the is your problem? That little 10 star in your goddamn gun don't make you a big boy, big boy.
Contact number?
No.
Now, the original officer has written a citation, and he is in the process of handing it to Mr. Futrell and explaining to him about the court date, and he asks him to sign it, etc., etc. And if we look at the timestamps on the body cam, the stop began at about 17:32 hours, and now he starts to issue the citation at about 17:41. So that's only 9, maybe 10 minutes that this stop has lasted. And especially given the aggressive nature of Mr. Futrell, that's not an unreasonable length of time for a minor traffic stop at all. Which brings up another question that we'll get to in here just a few seconds.
I actually need to sign right here where the X is. It's not a admission of guilt, it's just a promise to appear.
Go for 371. Go ahead.
Now get the off my property, you little piece of
10-4.
The
Hey,
off,
come here
boy.
for a second.
What you doing, boy?
Got a warrant. Come here.
You hear the other officer say 10-4 into his radio.
10-4.
The implication is that dispatch had said something to him. Possibly this guy has a warrant. And immediately afterwards, he follows him right into his house and arrests him. When he arrests him, he says, "You have a warrant." Well, the mystery has been solved. He did, in fact, have a warrant. But get this. It's an outstanding warrant from 2014 for issuing certificate to vehicle missing or with non-compliant inspection item. So it sounds like it is an extremely minor vehicle inspection related ticket from almost 10 years earlier. I actually have the court records from Gregg County, Texas right here, and it shows that the citation was issued on November 21st, 2014, that he was sent a letter the following month, and that a complaint/probable cause affidavit was executed in January of 2015. And then a few months after that, the court records show that it was sent to NetPlea. I wasn't sure what that was, so I looked it up. Apparently, NetPlea is a privately held company with headquarters in Plano, Texas. NetPlea is authorized, according to their website, to collect throughout the United States. So it's a Texas-based collections service. So they send it to collections, and that's it. It basically sat there in the cobwebs of the police digital outstanding warrants records, and it would stay there for almost a decade. Nobody came looking for him. Nobody sent him any more letters. He wasn't arrested. It just sat there until that very moment that this officer heard something, probably in his earpiece, and says 10-4. Then there was a docket call, which I presume is a court hearing, where it says defendant did not show up. And it looks like he ended up being assessed a fine of $273, which was paid. As we mentioned in the first video, several times when he says, well, what's the warrant for? What am I being arrested for? He says, the officer says evading. Evading what? There's nothing on that warrant that says anything about evading. This is a minor traffic violation from a decade earlier. There was nothing he was charged with that day that includes the word evading. But wait, there's another charge. So he has another misdemeanor charge in Gregg County, Texas, State of Texas versus Trenton Futrell. And now he's charged with resist arrest, search, or transport, a Class A misdemeanor. The date listed, 4/18/2024, the relevant date. But look at this. That charge was actually filed on May 16th of 2024. In other words, after the court date for the warrant that he was arrested on that we see in this body cam footage. They did not charge him with the resist, arrest, search, or transport on that day, but they waited until at least a month afterwards. In fact, they waited specifically just a number of days after he failed to appear at the court date on the inspection charge. Looking up the Texas statute that he's accused of violating, resist arrest, search, or transport, section 38.03 of the Texas statutes. A person commits an offense if he intentionally prevents or obstructs a person he knows is a police officer or a person acting in a police officer's presence and at his direction from effecting an arrest, search, or transportation of the actor or another by using force against the police officer or another. It is no defense to prosecution under the section that the arrest or search warrant or search was unlawful. So did he commit that offense in this body cam footage? He knew they were police officers, sure. They were in his presence. But were they effecting an arrest? Well, during the traffic stop, while he was acting very aggressive, while he refused to do some of the things that they asked, he wasn't under arrest at that time. It wasn't communicated to him that he was under arrest. He was clearly unaware of the existence of an outstanding warrant. So this could only apply to those few split seconds where they followed him into the house and said, hey, there's a warrant. It also requires that he resist this arrest, search, or transport by using force against the peace officer or another. So did he use force anywhere? It looks like when they grab him and they transport him, while he's running his mouth as he had done the entire incident, Doesn't appear that he attempted to use physical force in any way to resist them or obstruct them. Now, it appears from the court records that that charge is still pending. All right, now to come back to that question that I said that we would get to, and that has to do with the timing of just this traffic stop versus a routine traffic stop. At 9 to 10 minutes from the time the stop began until the time that the citation was in the process of being issued, only about 10 minutes, the officers still had plenty of time to delay that traffic stop pending receipt from dispatch, any outstanding warrants that this guy had. Now, that really only leaves two possibilities in my mind. Either the officers chose to end the traffic stop prior to hearing back from dispatch whether or not there were any outstanding warrants, or the timing was just terrible timing from dispatch. And that doesn't really make sense unless dispatch came back to them that there were no warrants and then later corrected themselves. In any event, it was terrible timing by the officers because, as we can see, it looked bad. The traffic stop was ended, and then, oh yeah, you have a warrant. We're following you into your house and we're arresting you. Also, we don't know for sure unless we hear the actual dispatch audio that preceded the officer saying 10-4. It could just be that they arrested the guy first and then later got lucky and found out that there was this old 10-year-old warrant out there, and it was sort of like Saved by the Bell for them. Which is it? I don't know. Probably they were told about the warrant. That seems most likely based on the footage. So let me hear from you. Do you think that the officers handled the situation appropriately? Should they have even arrested this guy on a 10-year-old warrant? Should there be 10-year-old warrants out there from minor inspection sticker type things? It's probably not a bad idea for all of us to check and just make sure that we don't have any 10-year-old like parking violation warrants out there. Because when you find out about it, it's going to be like the worst possible time. And before you run your mouth to police officers, even though you have a protected First Amendment right to do so, you should probably make sure you don't have any outstanding warrants. Because you're not going to be able to sue the officers for First Amendment retaliation for them arresting you with an active outstanding warrant. Even if, in their mind, they wouldn't have done so, but just did so because you gave them the motivation to do it. So thanks for watching. If you found this update video helpful, please subscribe to the channel. Also the blog at thecivilrightslawyer.com. Please like and share with others who also care about civil rights law. Remember, our rights don't end where your fear begins. Freedom is scary. Deal with it.